Hello, my dear students. I hope you all are fit and fine, taking care of yourself and your parents and studying as well. I'm back here again with a new chapter of social science, that is from the geography section, chapter number 1, resource. So, students, you can see a variety of things such as furniture, clothes, television, microwave, utensils, food grains, etc. The list will be too long if mentioned all. Now, the question is why this thing is important to us. Each of these has uses that satisfy their needs. That is why they are important. Now, again, the question is can we use a general term for all these important things? All these things can be termed as resource. Anything that can be used to satisfy a need is a resource. Look around you. Can you identify some more resource? Water you drink, electricity you use, textbook you read, the pen you write, the vehicle you go to school, shoes you wear, all are resource. They all are used by you. They have utility. Utility or usability makes a subject or a substance a resource. Things become resource only when they have a value. Use or utility gives it anything gives it a value. Thus, all the resources have some value. Value means worth. Now, next question is do you think all resources have economic value? And the answer is see, minerals have economic value, but fresh air we breathe may not have. But it satisfies human needs. Thus, some resources have economic value, some do not. Some resource can become economically valuable by the course of time. For example, you can take your mother's technique of preparing food today must not be commercially, it may be of no value. But if she uses the same technique after opening a restaurant, it could be economically valuable. So, can you bring out some more such examples? There is a coal deposit in a tribal village. Till the time they are not able to identify and use, they may not have economic value. But if somebody identifies it and converts it to a mining location, then it may have an economic value. So, what do you think are the important factors that can change a substance into a resource? Now, for this, the main answer is time and technology. See, students, time and technology are the two important factors that can change a substance into a resource. People themselves are the most important resource. It is their ideas and knowledge, inventions and discoveries that lead to invention of more resource. Each discovery or invention leads to many other. Now, can you think of such more discovery or invention you have heard about or studied? You have studied in your previous classes. For example, discovery of fire that led to the practice of cooking and other processes. The invention of wheel ultimately resulted in the development of new modes of transport. The technology to create hydroelectricity has turned energy into fast flowing water into an important resource. We have innumerable examples of such discoveries and inventions. So now talking about the types of resource. There are three types of resource. First, natural resource. Second, human made resource. Third, human resource. Now taking back to back, resource that are drawn from nature. and used with much change or modification. Sorry, resources that are drawn from nature and used without much changes or modifications are called natural resource, that is easily available from nature. So now can you name some of such resource? The air we breathe, water in river and the lake, the soil, the minerals, all are natural resource. Some of resource can be used directly, but some others needs technology to be used. Now natural resources are classified into groups. Now depending upon first the level of development and use, second the origin, third stock and exhaustibility, fourth distribution, and the last one is based on the ownership. And talking about the first, on the basis of development and use, resource can be classified into two groups, that is actual resource and the potential resource. Now in this picture, this is a coal mine in Chota Nagpur region, and the next one is uranium site of Ladakh region. Now can you tell what difference you can find in both the resource? The quantity and the quality of Chota Nagpur plateau is known and used for several years. But technology is not well developed to use the uranium found in the Ladakh region. Thus, those resources whose quantity are known and are in use in the present are known as actual resource. The rich deposit of coal in the Ruhr region of Germany and the petroleum in West Asia, the dark soils of the Deccan Plateau are some more examples of the actual resource. Now the next is the resource whose entire quantity may not be known, and these are not being used but can be used in the future, are known as potential resource. Now in which category do you place high speed wind? High speed wind are potential resource, were potential resource 200 years ago, but today they are actual resource. As we know, wind farms are developed and used to generate energy using windmills. The Nagarcoil in Tamil Nadu is such an example of this resource. Okay, now the next is based on the origin. Now resource can be classified into two groups, that is abiotic and biotic. Now abiotic is non-living and biotic means living. Now can you state examples for both? See, soil, rocks, minerals are abiotic. They are not living things. But plants and animals are biotic resource because they are living. Now next is on the basis of stock and exhaustibility. Natural resource can be broadly categorized into renewable and non-renewable resource. Look at these two sets of resource. What difference do you see? These are resources which have limited stock. Once their stock are exhausted, they may take time, thousands of years to be renewed or replenished. Okay. But these are some resources that are found abundantly and get renewed and replenished quickly. Thus, the resource that can be renewed quickly are known as renewable resource. Some of these are unlimited, such as solar energy and wind energy. But yes, again the important point, careless use of some resource like water, soil, forest can affect their stock. The resource which have limited stock, The resource which have limited stock and may take thousands of years to get renewed are called non-renewable resource. In the example, we can say is coal, petroleum, natural gas, etc. Okay. Now, on the basis of the distribution, resource can be again ubiquitous or localized. So, can you name some resource that are found everywhere in the world? Again, coming to the air we breathe, the water we drink are found more or less everywhere in the world. Such resources are called ubiquitous resource. The resource, those which are found only in certain places, are called as localized. Copper and iron ores are such examples. Now, why do you think resources are distributed unequally on the earth? The distribution of natural resource depends on the factor like terrain, climate, altitude. These factors differ very much on the earth, and that is the result of unequal distribution of the resource. Resource based on ownership. The first one is individual resource. Individual resource are resources that are owned privately by individual. Example, land, house, apartment, car, etc. The next one is community resource, which are the resource accessible to all members of the community. Example, grazing grounds, burial grounds, public parks, picnic spots. The next is national resource, the resource that belongs to a nation. For example, roadways, railways, canals, minerals, water resource, forest, wildlife, land within the political boundaries. The next is international resource. International resources are regulated by certain international institutions. The oceanic resource beyond 200 kilometers of exclusive economic zone, which belong to open oceans, and no individual country can utilize this without the concurrence of international institutions. These are the examples of international resource. People convert natural resource into more valuable resource and usable product. Here, the natural resource water is converted into electricity through the construction of dams. The resource made by human are human made resource. Now, can you name some human made resource around you wherever you are sitting? Now, people use natural resource to make buildings, bridge, road, machinery, vehicles, etc., etc. These are also human made resource. Natural substance become resource only when their original form has been changed. Iron ore was not a resource until people learned to extract iron from it through technology. The application of technology and skill in doing or making things is also a human made resource. People can make best use of nature to create more resource when they have knowledge, skill and technology to do so. Hence, people are considered as human resource. Human resource refers to the number of quantity and mental and physical abilities of the people. Now, what helps to improve the quality of human resource? And the answer for this question is education. But of course, education helps in making people a valuable resource. Thus, improving quality of people's skill so that they are able to create more resource is known as human resource development. So, let's get back to the natural resource again. Water is a renewable but a scarce resource, we can say. How do you think renewable resources can become scarce? It has become scarce due to the careless use and pollution made by we humans. Look at this situation. Jack, after moving out of the hall, forgets to switch off the lights and fan in his study room when not in use. Consequently, Jack uses more electricity and helps in depleting water and coal. As electricity, we all know, is produced mainly from these sources. If we are not careful, renewable sources can become very scarce and non-renewable one can definitely get exhausted. Thus, we need to use resource carefully. Using resource carefully and giving them time to get renewed is called resource conservation. Now, how do you think we can conserve resource? See, together we all can make difference. We can take small steps to conserve our mother nature, like save electricity by switching off the device when not unused, reuse and recycle papers that will save forest around you. Do not let water run in the tap while brushing and save every drop of water. If your taps are leaked, means getting leaked, just go for a repair and mend it. Use public transport that will help in conserving petrol. So in this way, there are many such ways. In this way, we can fulfill our needs to use resource and also conserve them for our future. Thus, the development brought by balancing the needs to use the resource and also to conserve them from the future is called a sustainable development. So, let us know some principles of sustainable development. The first one is respect and care for all forms of life. Improve the quality of human life. Third is conserve the earth's vitality and diversities. Next is minimize the depletion of natural resources. Next is change personal attitude and practices towards the environment. And the last one is enable communities to care for their own environment. My dear children, the future of our planet is linked with our ability to maintain our resource. A future in which people and nature thrive together. And the vision of such kind of future is achievable. And we must join together and put all our efforts into the big priorities that will make this vision a reality. Thank you so much, my dear children. Stay safe, stay healthy.